At first, there was only one ground road, so long as it seemed a mistake of the world. The wagon progressed slowly, with wheels sinking into dry dust. In front, the horizon trembled under the sun. Behind, the house was already far away. A whole family moved into what little he owned. Covers, pots, a Bible, a sack of flour. Each object was weighed, chosen, defended. The West did not welcome anyone with kindness. Every day he asked for something. A little water, a bit of strength, and the ability to not turn back. The wind passed on the high grass and brought with it the taste of the earth. Nobody spoke much, because when a new life begins like this, silence also weighs. Hunger came before night. Just looking inside the cart, lighter bags, almost empty barrels, hard bread as stone. The mother broke the rations with firm hands. The children waited without complaining. They knew that every crumb counted. The water smelled warm, almost irony, and knew of travel. He drank little. He kept his time in his mouth. Then the desire to drink again was swallowed. In those plains, a source could mean life, or a lost day behind a mirage. Women controlled pots. Men controlled the sky. Every cloud could promise rain, or storm. And when the wagon continued to move, no one knew whether it was courage or just need. The more the journey went on, the more the borders seemed to dissolve. There was no clear line between civilization and wilderness, only open stretches, low hills, sudden streams. The wagon creaked at every hole. The wood moaned under the weight. The road, if so you could call, was full of stones and dry mud. At night, the cold entered the bones. By day, the sun burned the neck and hands. The pioneers learned to read every sign. A track of wheels, a broken branch, a distant smoke smell. It was enough to understand that they were not alone. And the presence of other men in the West was not always a consolation. Sometimes it meant help. Sometimes it meant trouble. And the wagon, meanwhile, continued to pursue an invisible promise. The first real fear came when the sun disappeared behind the black line of the trees. The camp was small. A circle of fire, some china shape, the dry noise of a pot. Then silence changed. From the prairie came a long howling, then another, and another. The horses shook. Hands ran to the bridles. Nobody made noise. Wolves didn't see each other. They were lonely, close enough to tighten the stomach. The oldest man of the group burned fire with dry branches. The flame grew, and with it, for a little while, it also grew courage. But nobody really slept that night, because in the West, the dark was not empty. It was full of invisible eyes. Then, suddenly, the city appeared. Not a real city, not yet. A handful of straight roads, wooden houses, mud to the ankles. The smell changed immediately. Carbon smoke, sweat, wet cook, old fry. People came from every place. Gold seekers, herds, traders, widows, men without name. Every face seemed to bring a different story. Each door could become a workshop. Each bar could become a game room. The family knew something. In the West, a city was not peace. It was a fragile stop. And also there, between the noise of the axes and the tired laughter, survival had not stopped asking for its price. When the men of law came, the air changed. He didn't become safer. It only became more tense. A star of tin on the chest was not enough to tame a huge territory. The streets were too long, the horses too few, the conflicts too fast. Just a wrong word, a debt, a stolen horse, and the night could fill with quick steps and banged doors. In those frontier cities, the law was struggling, sometimes late, sometimes incompletely. But for those who only tried to survive, even a fragile order seemed a barrier against chaos. Yet chaos remained there, behind each window, behind every look, waiting for the right time. Cold in the West didn't ask for permission. Entered the face, in the hands, in the wet clothes. At night, the breath became steam. The wagon seemed too fragile to defend someone. The wood was little. Fire was protected as a living thing. The mother shook the blankets around the children. The father controlled the sky with red eyes. When the snow came, it erased everything. The tracks, distances, even the desire to speak. In those days, time seemed still. But the danger is not, because frost drained the forces faster than hunger. And every morning it could be a small victory, or a loss that no one would have the strength to tell. In the West, no one really survives alone. Even the hardest men depended on others: a hand-to-hand bucket, a repaired wheel before sunset, a piece of cloth to wrap a wound, a loaned horse, a shared meal without too many words. The communities were born like this, not big talk, but from small gestures repeated in cold and dust. Women held wood houses and tents together. Men dug wells, lifted fences, stretched wires. Children soon learned to run in silence. And when someone fell, another one leaned. Because the border was hard, but human fragility was even more evident. And precisely from that fragility was born, sometimes, the strength to remain. To resist, the journey changed face. Fear didn't disappear, learned only to sit next to people. The dust came into the lungs. The sun continued to strike mercilessly. The streets kept asking for new renunciations. Yet, gradually, something grew. Hard familiarity, the ability to read the sky, to hear the wind, to understand when to stop, understand when to start. Surviving did not mean to win the West. He wanted to learn to occupy his place inside it. With caution, hardly, with the memory of everything that was lost along the way. If this story has accompanied us here, we also owe it to Stefano, who has indicated the direction from which to leave. In this documentary, the following works and research institutions have been used as main historical sources: David Derry, The Oregon Trail, An American Saga; John MacFaragher, Women and Men on the Overland Trail; Patricia Nelson Limerick, The Legacy of Conquest; Richard White, It's Your Misfortune and None of My Own; Robert M. Utley, The Lance and the Shield; Library of Congress; National Park Service; Smithsonian Institution; The Handbook of Texas Online; Encyclopedia Britannica. These sources help rebuild everyday life, pioneer routes, frontier cities, and material difficulties of survival in the West. History, however, remains mainly made of steps, dust, and human resistance.